Hey, what's up guys? This is Chris from PCRX. So today we're going to do a quick unboxing of the MSI Mortar B350M motherboard, and we're also going to talk a little bit about our initial experience with it. So we had this motherboard in a second rig. It was in my friend Nate's Ryzen 1700 rig, and we actually had some problems with it in the very beginning. We'll talk about that later. So let's get to the unboxing. If you hear a little bit of sound in the background, don't worry. It's just my cat. So we'll get to the unboxing now. So let's go ahead and open her up. So right off the bat, you got the immediately outdated CD-ROM. A little pamphlet, kind of similar to ASRock's pamphlet, just covers basic installation of needing to remove the plastic pieces for installation of the Wraith cooler, and also which DIMM slots you need to use for single, dual, and multi-channel RAM. Comes with a quick installation guide. Basically just covers CPU cooler installation for the stock coolers, and also includes a little bit of connections as far as basic component setup. Also comes with a registration card and a really nice manual. It's pretty similar to ASRock's, but it's definitely pretty nice and has nice details that you need to reference later. And a really fantastic I/O shield as well. This one is pretty up there as far as the ones I've ever had. It's a really nice kind of matte black and red, and it fits really well with the color of the motherboard and kind of the theme that this board goes with, which is red and black, which is a pretty common theme recently. Comes with a plate adapter, couple black SATA 68 cables, and the motherboard itself. So we'll go ahead and open it up here. Set that aside and take a look at the motherboard. So this is a micro ATX motherboard, and it's quite a bit shorter than most motherboards, as you can see down here. So it's pretty small. It's quite a bit smaller than the other one I have, the ASRock B350 Pro 4, and that one is actually not a full-size ATX either. That's a QATX, so it's a little bit thinner than a full ATX. But this one is a micro, so it's pretty small. So right off the bat, let's talk a little bit about lighting. So this doesn't have any lights on the front of it, except for this audio line here lights up red. But the back of it, go ahead and flip it around real quick here, actually has 4 little red LEDs on the corners. And it's pretty cool because it gives it, just a little bit of more aesthetic light in the back when you install this thing. Looks pretty cool. So let's go ahead and start with this side right here, I/O panel. So you have the solid cap audio caps, a multi-channel audio out and microphone in, SPDIF optical audio, Ethernet, USB 3.0, which are not blue, they're red this time, fit the theme. You have a USB 3.1, including a C port, display, HDMI, DVI for when you have an APU. Those will be coming out pretty soon. 2 USB 2.0s, and the typical PS2 connector for mouse or old style keyboards and whatnot. Alright, so up at the top here, 8-pin connector for CPU power, 4 DIMM slots for RAM, DDR4, CPU, 24-pin power, and you have 2 vertical SATAs here, along with 2 more horizontals. It's nice to have both styles. You also have a larger USB connection here. I believe this is for USB 3. Down at the bottom we have ports for power, USB connectors, a couple really old style connectors here for COM ports and whatnot, an RGB power connector, so you can connect this to RGB strips and it will light it, and you can use the software to use too. It's one of the features of this board, and actually most of the boards for the Ryzen's CPUs. Audio, system fan, and there's quite a few system fan connectors here. There's one here. There's also a CPU one up top here. And these heatsinks are pretty cool. They're a lot better than some of the other ones, at least design-wise. They look pretty decent. That's pretty much it. We also have the PCIEs here. This one is reinforced. And this board does support Crossfire, I believe, but no SLI on here, because you actually have to have a proprietary chip for that. And it also has M2, but just the one. So, what kind of problems did we have with this board? Well, we initially thought that there was something wrong with it because it wouldn't post. And that ended up being nothing to do with the board having an issue necessarily, but it actually was completely the BIOS's problem. So this came with version 1.0 out of the box for the BIOS, which was terrible, and it would not post with any type of RAM we had. We had Crucial RAM, we had PNY RAM, we had some HyperX RAM, nothing. Couldn't get anything out of it, out of the box. So we actually had to go ahead, take our USB drive, load the newer BIOS on it, 1.10, and manually instant flash this thing just on a whim we didn't even have to press any buttons. We just plugged the USB in, formatted it correctly with the files, put it on, and this actually booted up and installed the correct BIOS software. So afterwards then it started to work. But I thought it was pretty ridiculous from MSI to not include BIOS that actually was able to load out of the box. And I'm not just talking about, oh, you know, we had one type of RAM that didn't work. All the RAM. Three brands, 3 different types, different speeds, didn't work. Really irritating, and if I bought this and didn't know exactly what I was doing, I'd be super pissed. So, super thumbs down from MSI. That really sucks, guys. I understand BIOSes suck off, you know, right off the bat. With the Ryzen stuff, they're not great because it's a brand new CPU platform. But come on, I mean, not to have it even post, that's just stupid. So anyway, we got it posting, and then we had continual problems with this board as far as BSOD, blue screen of death, just crashing issues, freezing, lots of other errors and whatnot. But it ended up being the memory, which was an easy fix. So this board actually functions. It was just a huge headache to get it to work right off the bat. But once it did, it's a pretty decent board. It's priced decently. But I will say that unfortunately, it's not the highest quality board. It doesn't have the highest quality build, but what they lack in quality, MSI makes up for in features. Because you have multi-channel audio, you have reinforced PCIe, and you have a lot of other features like lighting and just kind of little things here and there that kind of make up for the quality. But other than that, the BIOS software itself is hideous. We're going to do a video for it. It's pretty terrible. Well, okay, so it looks good. It looks cool, but it is absolutely horribly disorganized. And it's very hard to tell what you're supposed to be doing in it because it's not in any sort of list format. It's all just GUI pictures and stuff. It's hard to read. So what else about this board? Well, I can tell you that after we did all of the work to get it working, it seemed to work pretty well. No real issues beyond that. RAM speed worked. I believe we got it up somewhere to 2667, I believe is its highest speed. We didn't get to mess with the RAM too much because we were having RAM issues, of course. But other than that, it's a decent board. I'd say if you're going to go with a smaller size and you want features over quality. Now, a note on quality. What I mean by quality is not necessarily build quality, although MSI has never been a high point in that. They do pretty good now, and by this time they've kind of bridged the gap with their stuff. But as you notice here, you have 4x2 power phases. That's real And I believe my ASRock has something like 6x4 or something like that. It's way higher. So power phases, you have the more of them, these little guys here, the more that you have of those, the more theoretical chance you have of hitting higher overclocks and just being more stable overall, which is nice to have. So if having less just means that they spent less money on quality parts for the board and spent more on things like lighting and little, you know, trinkety features. So you kind of have to take the hit or miss. You have, you know, better audio, lighting, stuff like that, you know, fancy dancy features, or you just go for the core. So it kind of depends on what you're trying to build. If you're not too worried about hardcore overclocking or stability and whatnot, go for something like this if you get really cool features and it fits your color scheme. But if you want just kind of the highest quality B350s this far, not quality, but the hardware that's on them, the basic hardware, so power phases and stuff like that, no fancy things. I believe ASRock is doing about the best. Gigabyte's doing pretty good too. So that's pretty much it for this unboxing. There's not really much to it. It's a motherboard, so there's not too much I can show. But if you have any questions, post in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel, because we're really trying to bring you guys some good content, and every like and subscription that we get definitely helps towards that, so we can bring better content for you guys. So like I said, if you have any questions, post below. I'll try to answer them as quickly as possible, or Nate will answer them for you guys. This has been Chris from PCRX. You guys have a wonderful afternoon. Take it easy.